In Syntasa 9.1.5, we're improving the user experience when creating attributes and audiences in the Audience module. There are further improvements in development, but here's what's been improved so far. While building rules, we focus the left and right-hand side inputs of the conditions so it's clear what type of value is expected. This includes updating the labels of the inputs, so it's easy to understand what you should be selecting for each input. Within Attribute Builder, after you've selected the dataset column for the rule, we now display a preview of the values in the selected column. Within Audience Builder, we now allow both the left and right-hand side values to be dragged from the available attribute group and attribute values. Starting in Attribute Builder, let's dive into this existing attribute group so we can add a new attribute value to the group. Let's collapse the existing attributes and add a new one. The left-hand side now says Dataset Column instead of simply Left Value. The drop-down shows the list of datasets and their columns, just as it had before. The right-hand side now says Value, which we'll get to in a second. To select the dataset column we want, we could have searched and used the drop-down, but we can also find it here from the left-hand side and drag it into the rule builder. We also pick our operator here in the middle. Once the dataset column is selected, the right-hand side is now a preview of the distinct values found in the selected column. Depending on the selected column, the actual number of distinct values may be thousands or more, but at the moment we are showing a preview, which is the same preview seen here in the Input Datasets menu. As before, you can also still freely type a value as you wish. Moving to Audience Builder, let's create a new audience group. The left-hand side of the rule builder has been updated to say Attribute Group instead of Left Value. The right-hand side says Attribute. The selection panel here on the left is displaying the list of attribute groups on the first layer and the attributes within the group on the second layer. The drop-down shows the list of attribute groups, just as it had before, matching the first layer on the selection list. A new improvement is that you can now drag the attribute group from the left. Once selected, the selection panel automatically drills down to the second layer. This makes it easy to then drag the attribute value to the right side of the rule. Then, when you add a new rule to the attribute, the selection panel automatically resets to the first layer, so you can select the attribute group for the next rule. The selection panel also resets when you add a new audience value, just as it does when adding a new rule within an existing audience. That's it for now, but we are working on further improvements to the Audience module that we'll be able to share soon. Thank you.